Iconoclast Speaks.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Iconoclast Speaks. I'm the Iconoclast, and with me once again and normally is Dadbot. Boom, boom. But
yeah, Dadbot.
We didn't do that.
I didn't.
This episode is not sponsored because we're going into a little controversial.
Sorry, Towson. I'm not even a student there.
Yeah.
Like that. I might still be enrolled technically. I don't know.
Oh, you went there?
I did. I didn't like it. I stopped. It's too far, and then it was I was taking entry level classes with like a bunch of like 17, 18 year
Oh,
old
yeah.
kids. And I was just like,
Can't deal.
yeah. Anyway, real stuff.
So what we're going to talk about this time is probably going to piss off a lot of people. Maybe not. Maybe they don't even care. Like if they're like me, they're not going to care.
Right.
But if you're very triggered easily, you are going to care. But what we're going to talk about is the right to discriminate. And
Yeah, the right to be an asshole.
yeah, do we as Americans? And this is probably more American centric than the rest of the world because I don't know. I don't assume that every country has the same freedoms we do. I know they don't.
Yeah, well, their
Like-
cultures are all like so.
And they're
with
different.
the-
Different cultures.
They have like there's a big thing, Hofsenkrug, and there's
Yeah.
a German guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's probably not even German. Anyway, so he went around and he like figured out all these different cultural dimensions
Yeah.
and then put everybody on a sliding scale. And Americans are all the way away from, they're all individual.
That's right. We're all to ourselves. Boom! Americulture. Yeah. Well, and what we're like the right to discriminate. And I'm going to give some examples. And then I'm going to let you weigh in on where you stand on it.
Let's do that.
Okay, so the most recent one is Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
The what's her? She's the works for Donald Trump. I can't remember what her title is.
The talkie lady.
Yeah, the propaganda artist. She's the
We brought him back. We brought him back.
yeah. She's the the press secretary,
Okay.
and which is a big honor, like a big deal, especially in the fact that it's a woman doing it is pretty awesome. That she's. Now, I think there's been a woman press secretary before. Maybe there hasn't. I don't know. But that's it. Oh yeah,
I think Bush
Dana.
had one.
Yeah, Dana.
Yeah.
Farina. But it's still a big honor, a big deal to be a press secretary.
Sorry, I'm listening to you, I swear.
I hope is it a B or is it?
It's something with the stringer. I think it's a wasp kind of.
Oh, okay.
Let's just let it ride.
Yeah, let it ride.
Sorry.
Anyway, so she got kicked out of a restaurant, and it was because she worked for Donald Trump.
Right.
And the owner actually came down and said, "Please leave." And she did leave. I found it interesting. I guess it was someone at the restaurant. I won't say who because I'm not 100% sure. But they then Facebooked out, like basically they said, we kicked out Sarah Huckabee Sanders, haha, or something. They said on Facebook, but it got removed. But as you know, in social media,
Someone screenshot it.
So then Sarah did respond and say, yes, this is what happened. Here's how. But she wasn't like mean. She didn't say anything like, don't go to that restaurant. I'm not even going to mention the restaurant because I don't want to add to people saying which restaurant, because there's actually 2 restaurants in the area with similar names.
Oh yeah.
And the one that didn't do anything got egged.
Let's boycott both of them.
Yeah, no.
No.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna boycott the people boycotting.
Yeah, there you go. Then another was a few months ago, I guess, in Philadelphia. You had 2 gentlemen go into a Starbucks and want to use the restroom. They were told restroom was for patrons only, and then they caused a big stink, and then it turned into this whole racial thing, and then Starbucks shut down for a day to do re-education camps for everybody, which I thought, for me, that's funny because in this day and age, if you really have to be taught how to treat people, I was just
because like one guy.
Yeah, because
One person.
Well, the thing is, it's their standard saying you have to be a patron in order to use the restroom.
Right.
That's their rule, and
unless you're white.
No,
you can use it whenever you want.
No, I have a story about Starbucks in the restroom.
Okay.
And just to point out that they are this way. Then, even before that, you had a man in Colorado who owned a bakery. 2 homosexuals wanted him to make a wedding cake.
Right.
He said no, he doesn't do homosexual marriage wedding cakes. They sued him. It ended up eventually going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court found in favor of him.
Yeah, it was super
Kind of.
weird, wishy-washy.
The reason is because, like, a lot of people are saying he wouldn't serve homosexuals, which is not true. He will. He just wouldn't do a
He
wedding.
wouldn't do something custom, yeah. Like
Right.
you could buy one of his cakes.
You could buy one of his cakes
Yeah.
and do whatever you wanted
but
with
he's
it.
not going to make you a special.
Yeah, and he also didn't do Halloween cookies, cupcakes, or cakes either, because according to his religious beliefs, he wouldn't. And that's why the Supreme Court found in his favor, because
Oh, 'cause
it
of that.
wasn't just that; it's
nice.
also this other thing, which I
interesting.
was like, well, what about the poor goblins,
I was-
ghosts, and demons?
Sure,
they
yeah,
get
they're-
nothing. But you know, but I guess
Where's
they're not
the-
a protected class.
Yeah.
Monsters are not.
Where's the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Yeah. So what about where do you stand on this? Are you in favor of the patron or are you in favor of the owners and their rights to decide?
So whenever I hear people talk about this, they always talk about, not always, and not they. I've heard, whatever, I'm just going to go for it.
Go for it.
So everyone says, oh, well, hey, you know, just move, like leave if you like use your foot vote.
Right.
If you live in a town that only has one bakery and then you want to get married, then go drive to the next town.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Take your money and then
spend
leave.
it elsewhere.
Right. The problem with that is when somebody doesn't have the money, because there's got to be some kind of standard.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that if what you're doing is you're not discriminating, it's not a bakery. What if it's the grocery store,
Yeah.
right? And you say, oh hey, sorry, you know I can't serve you because of whatever. But you're the only grocery store.
Right.
Well, then just leave, right?
Yeah.
But right, yeah, but no, you don't have any money.
Right.
You can't leave. So then what's happening, right? So then you're being like targeted, and then your life is very bad, and there's nothing that you can do about it because of something that you can't change.
Right.
Right. So I'm all for, you know, being like the libertarian view, which is just saying like, well, you know, you should be able to do whatever you want, and then, you know, just the market will kind of
weed
work
you
itself out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll end up moving to a place that has a grocery store that you can go to,
Or the grocery store will go out of
the
business.
bakery. Or it'll
and
go
then
out of
somebody
business.
else will
That's
buy
probably
it.
not going to happen, especially when it's discrimination that's being done by the majority on the minority.
Right.
They're not going to go out of business because they still support the majority, unless enough of the people. But it's still the only grocery store. So I
Yeah.
mean, what are you going to be that upset that you're going to like refuse to like you're going to make your family's life also? I mean, you could. It's a big thing. I think it's more. It's very easy to just say, oh, we'll just move. It's just like I can't move right now.
Yeah.
No chance. If tell you what, not that you guys listen, but if I could move right now, I definitely would. I live with my in-laws. But the
Well, it's because then it's cramped quarters. It's not that you don't love your in-laws.
right, yeah,
It's
they're
just-
great people. I just don't want to live in anybody else's house.
Yeah, no,
have to.
I've been there. So
Right, I have to live in somebody else's house right now, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I've
I
had
know
to
it's
do
great.
that.
I like the opportunity that I don't, because I could technically move out on my own, and wouldn't be able to save as much money, or not really save money, but I'd be like paying down less on my debts. But I appreciate it. But I don't like where I would move if I could comfortably. So when you're looking at a small group of people, especially what if that grocery store is also like the main
Yeah.
hiring, right? And they're not going to hire you either.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to say it's definitely, it's a legitimate slippery slope.
Yeah.
You can't just say no rules,
Right.
because then that person wouldn't have any, then that person's situation gets even worse. Because now they don't have any money at all. Now they really can't leave. Now they're just being persecuted, and all they can do is just suffer.
Right.
But I was thinking about this because you preempted me about the topic ahead of time, and I was thinking about the UBI. Are you familiar with the UBI?
No, go ahead, tell me.
Universal Basic Income.
All right, go ahead.
It's kind of like you take away all the social programs and instead you just give everybody like a paycheck.
Right.
Right. In that situation, I think that it would be okay to say all rules are off. Because then you could move.
Okay.
And they're not cutting off your source of money, and you had the money to move.
All right. I like it.
But
There you
there's
have
gotta
it.
be some rules, man. What do you think?
No, I do think
What do you got?
there has
Like
to
that.
be some rules.
Yeah.
But on my same time, I have a hard time like there's another example too, and this probably tick off people.
Sure.
The musical Hamilton, in 2016, they put out a press release or a casting call, and in the casting call they specified non-whites only, basically saying we don't want any white folk.
Yeah.
So a lot of people took like, oh my gosh, they're racist, then. But if you
That
see,
just happens when people
right,
see behind. But
Right. But if you've seen the musical, you understand it.
Right.
They probably should have worded it differently. They could have said casting
it's
call.
show
We're looking
business.
for African Americans, Asians, or that. They should have said specifically who they're looking for, not who they're not looking for.
I
And
think they,
in either way, I don't care.
people just get upset.
Right. I wasn't upset about
The people
that.
that get upset about that are the people that call other people snowflakes. Just
Exactly. Yeah. So see, I didn't get
So
upset about
those
that.
are the people. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I haven't gotten upset about any of these things because I was just like, oh well. Because in my head, as I read more into the whole Colorado Baker thing and found out more about the situation, it almost looked like that couple went to him specifically to cause a problem.
I heard that.
And like the more I read about it, it just seemed like, okay, they're not even getting married in that state. They're not, it was like
They were
so-
like looking to pick a fight.
right. That's what it's like. They found out about this guy.
But that's
And so in my head, like, I'm just anti-sue. I don't like suing over things that I think can be resolved easily. And the thing is, they had money that they had money. They could have gone somewhere else
Yeah.
easily and had someone do a cake.
yeah, and it's interesting because it brings up the issue. Even though, like, if it's true that they were
Yeah.
just looking to pick a fight and they found one,
Yeah.
but they were like, oh, this guy doesn't make Halloween cookies, got him,
Yeah.
right? So if that's the case, then they're assholes. But it doesn't change the fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't change like the
Yeah.
like the core of the concept.
Right.
Just 'cause this one situation-
he was claiming religious beliefs, and that's fine. And so on that one, I was just like, and as the court went out, it eventually came out through the Supreme Court, whatever, however it came out, it kind of came in his favor, and now he's, I guess, gonna go back into business. I don't know. He kind of shut down.
Yeah. So in this specific situation, part of the thing too is like the fact that it's the customization part. It's not
Right.
right. So it's not.
Right.
If we could make that, we could make that the line. I'm okay with that. But
Like if he refused completely and said, no, you can't have any of my
cakes,
product.
get out of my store.
Right, but
which
he
is
didn't.
what happened to Huckabee Sanders.
Right. So he
so
didn't
that
he said you
situation's
could take a cake. I'm not going to customize it.
Right.
So I think in that situation, I find in favor of the owner because like he was willing to give them stuff.
Sure.
He just wasn't going to go that extra mile.
So what
they-
about Huckabee Sanders?
Now in Huckabee's hand, I still find in favor of the owner just because she wants to be known as the lady who kicked her out. I think especially knowing where her restaurant is, she's in a very conservative area, so she better
Yeah.
hope that her food is darn good.
It probably is.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like that's what I would still probably go there, like because I don't
Yeah, I
care.
would, I don't give a shit.
And so, but if people are so mad about, just don't go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
But like I kind of want to go there because I want to see how good the food is.
And then that's a little different too because it's not. I mean, you could say
I mean, and that's saying she wasn't causing a ruckus. She was there with her
she's
family.
not causing a ruckus,
Eating
and she's
food.
also. It's a decision that she made to accept a position
Yeah.
for somebody that is controversial.
Right.
That takes stuff gets added onto that. There's
Yeah.
that's part of the benefits package,
Right.
and that's different than somebody who's because of who they are, what they can't change.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I'd still find fair. Now, the Starbucks thing, I'm in favor of Starbucks on their decision because a few years ago, I went to a Starbucks with my kid. My kid had to use the restroom. And,
Not even a kid.
yeah, and they said, and I said, hey, can I use your restroom because it was locked. And it's for patrons only. I said, okay. And I said, I'll have a mocha latte. The grande. Bought the mocha. They let me use the restroom. Everything was fine, and I had a mocha latte.
Well,
And it
it
was
must
only-
be nice. It must be nice to have that kind of
Must be nice
disposable income.
to spend $4.
I'm
Yeah.
not spending $4 to get diabetes and use the bathroom.
Well, my kid had to go.
Well,
So
I
I
guess
didn't
sacrifice you had to make.
It was a sacrifice I was willing to make, and I've seen the two guys in interviews who caused a ruckus.
Yeah.
I believe they probably did have disposable income. They are dressed very nicely, nicer than I dress.
Well,
So
that's
I'm-
just because you
yeah, I'm a slob.
dress like a child.
I do.
We dress the same way. I can't really talk that much shit.
But so I was like, you know what? I bet they could have afforded to buy even just a coffee.
They probably could.
But I think there again, they saw an opportunity. They're like, hey. A lot of times I think when these things happen, I'm like, they're looking for an opportunity to cause a ruckus.
Yeah.
So,
Get
but-
some fame or maybe have a lawsuit or something like that.
Yeah.
They could have just gone to like. It's not like this. Starbucks was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
It's not
I
like
mean,
they drove. It's not
it-
like they were driving like on
yeah,
this huge road trip and all of a sudden,
it's like,
oh, there's a place to go. Finally,
yeah, they're in the middle of
I got
downtown
that.
Philly.
Yeah,
They could have
just
gone to
go next
Caribou
door.
Coffee.
They could have gone to Caribou.
I've gone into Caribou, used the restroom, and they've never said
I've never
anything to
been
me.
to Caribou Coffee.
Yeah, so go to Caribou. They'll let you use your restrooms.
Yeah, but then you're not going to buy anything.
I would still buy.
Yeah, you only bought a drink because of the bathroom.
Yeah, that time, but Caribou I would because I like their coffee.
I think, speaking of coffee shops and bathrooms,
What?
did you see that video with the lady in Tim Hortons in Canada?
No, what
She
happened?
pooped on the ground and threw it at the guy
Why?
because he wouldn't let her use the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because she
I can't-
wasn't a customer?
Oh man, yeah, it was crazy. So she like ran in and she was like, oh man. And then like she started like yelling and cussing and like doing all this stuff. And then she like unties she has like a sweater tied around her waist, unties it, sets it down, and then pulls her pants down, leans up against the wall. The whole time she's yelling at this guy, poops on the ground, picks it up, zings it, and then wipes with napkins off the counter, throws the napkins at him, and then leaves. And then
Wow.
that was the whole thing. And then the whole thing that came out of it was like, yeah, maybe we should let people use their bathroom.
Yeah.
So maybe you should just let people use your bathroom.
Maybe you should. Maybe they need to. I mean, really, I don't think they had to do the whole re-education camps for everybody. I think they just needed to change their standard and be like, okay, you know what?
That's so stupid. The reason that my problem with that thing is it was just a move.
Yeah.
Like no one cared.
No, they didn't. Like
All the people that were there were like, oh, so this is what I have to do for work today. Like,
Well, it's
whatever,
kinda like-
paying me, I don't
it-
care.
it's like
and then
you-
the people that thought of it were like, oh, how are we gonna get at it? Like, oh, we gotta make sure that our response is big enough that it gets people off of us.
Yeah.
But like that's
Nobody's
just all up
cared.
here.
Yeah,
and
nobody
up
cares.
down here, no
Yeah.
one, not a single fucking person.
Yeah.
gives a shit.
I don't think I knew one person that's like, I'm not going to Starbucks anymore. And it's like everybody still is going.
No, everybody was like, oh, what? Starbucks is closed today?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, I thought I
That's
heard
the only thing
more
that
more
happened.
people were upset about Starbucks closing than
Yeah.
them not letting someone use the restroom. But
If you're upset that Starbucks is closed, you're an idiot.
yeah, I wasn't upset.
Just-
but
I
I'm
mean-
just saying, I think more people
Not you.
were upset about it. Than,
Yeah, no, like, oh man, people just like to be upset about things, I guess.
I know, and they do.
We need real problems.
Yeah. And
I
there
mean, I
are,
don't- I
the
don't
thing
want
is,
any.
there are real problems out there.
There are.
Eventually,
you
we're
gotta go
gonna hit
find
on
them.
We're gonna hit on it eventually,
And then we're gonna talk about them and not get to anything, not solve anything.
right? Because that's what we do best. We
what
just
we do.
discuss it. So, what are your thoughts? Just throw them at us about. Do you think people have the right to be discriminatory and discriminate against people willy-nilly, or do you
Can
think
you just
there
be
should
an asshole?
Yeah. Do you have the right to be like
What if
a?
you just like walking down the street and you just tell someone to fuck off?
Yeah.
Can you just do that?
Can you?
I think so.
I think you can. I
I
think
think
you're
it's
right.
verbal.
Yeah.
Verbal assault. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. Like, well, I mean,
I think also.
if somebody said that to me, I wouldn't even care.
Right.
That's the thing is, I'm like, well, okay. Maybe I will now.
Maybe I will.
See ya. So.
The Iconoclast speaks.